What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Journey Podcast.
Welcome back to the Journey Podcast with a familiar space.
Yeah, we're back in New York.
Back in New York. Yeah, I haven't externalized how I feel about being in this studio because we haven't been in it for very long and we were busy setting up the shots and we got a whole fucking crazy production now, you know? So, I mean, we've always kind of had a crazy production, but spending more time on the production, mainly more so for you, getting your shit fucking dialed in.
Yeah.
And which is great, which is fucking lovely. I mean, I was telling someone today, someone actually asked me about the production at the gym. And I was like, hey, like, we got to have some of the best production in the world and just wait till we get out of my mom's cottage.
Right.
You know, like or even just wait till we get some more space in the things we want to do, you know, when it's just not a two-man job. But yeah, how are you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, bro. Feeling good. Had some clarity today with just kind of sitting back and just realizing that we're good, you know, because it's easy for us to kind of get all like flustered and almost like stress ourselves out because we want shit to happen like a lot faster than it is. But, you know, this is like a long game that we're playing and we have to realize that every day. And like you and I spoke about, this is the time of our lives and the period of this chapter where we have to really figure ourselves out and just like spend the time alone, get right, be bored, meditate, read, really tap in with the diet, working out, because like before we know it, this chapter is going to be over. So when we get into that next chapter, like let's be prepared.
Yeah, bro, I've been praying for a long time for some peace and quiet. And then now that I'm home and, you know, for anyone listening that, you know, stays up to date with us, I'm in between a lease right now. Although I technically never really had a lease, I was more so subleasing and just kind of getting it out of the mud in Miami. But that phase of my life has ended. My sublease has ended. So I was forced to come back home. And there was a lot of time when I was in Miami, I would pray. Oh, excuse me. The happy dads, I'm not used to that. Sorry, girls, if you think I'm hot and then that turned you off. But now there was a lot of time in Miami, bro, where like I really wanted peace and quiet. Mm-hmm. And now that I have peace and quiet, I don't know what to do with it. And I realized that it's really weird, bro, because there's always like this like Dr. Jekyll and like Hyde thing. You know, there's always a part of you that wants something and then there's a part of you that doesn't want that thing. And I've been like really bad with decision making because of that. You know, because I've had a tough time telling like, deciphering like who should I listen to in this instance? Like what thought is the correct thought? Now I understand that if you're not meditating, you really shouldn't be listening to any thoughts because you have to, how you should be listening, like, all right, you have an intuition and your intuition is supposed to guide you throughout life. And you'll never even be able to really tap in with what your intuition actually is if you don't like work your intuition out. And what I mean by like work your intuition out is like, I know for like, I've listened to so much podcasts this past week just because I've been so bored, like so much like self-help podcasts. And all roads lead back to meditation. So if you're not meditating, you can't really take any voice inside your head serious or really any thought serious because if you're not meditating, your thoughts aren't going to come from, I guess, they're not going to come from the highest place they could be coming from. Every once in a while, you can like kind of hit some gold and like get some direction and like get some clarity. But majority of us human beings live majority of our lives based off of what our monkey mind tells us rather than what our like higher self mind tells us.
Yeah, that's why I want you to like almost elaborate on what you get out of meditating and what goes on in your mind when you meditate, right? Because the key to meditation is to not think. And I saw a video today, and the guy was talking about that it's not that you shouldn't think, but you should only have one thought. So then your entire focus and the entire session should be geared towards that one thought, and then that one thought should take you places.
Yeah.
So like walk us through like what does a meditation look like in your mind? Because like when I do it, like I feel like I'm doing it right, but I mean I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to do it. I know you have a little more experience than I do doing it, because sometimes I feel like my mind is just like all over the place, and I'm sure like maybe a couple like people listening that have tapped in with us, they have tried the meditation because we've recommended it, and then maybe they feel a little like lost while doing it, or they're a little confused if it's working, if they're doing it right. So like what do you think is from like your experience, like what is a meditation in Jake Moscato's mind, and then like how do you try to go about it?
Yeah, so I just want to say, if you feel like, if you begin to meditate and you start getting frustrated because you're like, I can't stop thinking, you're doing it correctly. That's meditation. Because if you're aware, like you have awareness there, you're aware that you can't stop thinking. If you weren't aware, you'd be doing it wrong, right? But like that's the first step in meditation, is just realizing that there is some type of awareness here. And that's why people don't have breakthroughs. That's why I don't have breakthroughs. That's why, because everybody thinks they're meditating wrong, because everybody's chasing this mystical experience. You know, like I've done it. Like I've had meditations where I've cried before. You know, I've had meditations where my entire body has like kind of went numb. You know, I've had meditations where like I've had like deep visualizations, right? Almost like hallucinations. Yeah.
There you go.
Hallucinogenics fucked me up, but whatever. So that's the thing about meditation, is like, it's not like, can it like be very deep and like transcendental, and can you go to crazy places? Like, yeah, absolutely. But you have to understand, like, bro, when you first start meditating and you're not used to meditating, of course your mind is going to be flooded with all this stuff, especially if like you're tapped into your phone and you're chasing dopamine all day, because there's two ways to meditate. Like, I don't even like meditating if I've had a crazy dopamine day. And what I mean by a crazy dopamine day is like, bro, if I'm on my phone all day and I'm eating unhealthy, for me, it really is mainly the phone, just because it's such a compulsive addiction that as soon as I start it, I just have this insane habit to check my phone. So it's very hard to get into a meditative state when I'm in that habit of thinking, I guess. But I would just say, like, meditation for me is releasing Jake Moscato. And it's so fucking nice, bro. Like, to release who I am. Because who I am is largely built on stress, actually. You and I got this podcast. We got to make it. We got to get guests on. We have to fund our thing. I'm worried about what other people, how are these people going to perceive me? How are my parents going to perceive me? I'm sleeping on my mom's couch. And then, you know, is the algorithm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, our lives are extremely stressful, but a lot of the stress is self-created. And that's what meditation kind of teaches you. It's like the first break. It separates you from your problems so you could realize how fucking stupid they are. You know, and that really is my main thing with meditation. It's not like I'm trying to have this mystical experience, I'm trying to get a break from who I am. I'm trying to get a break from my personality, because the only way to change your personal reality is to change your personality. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it's a little, and that's why I said before, the only way to live a better life, the only way to manifest certain things into your life, the only way to really let go of an addiction is you have to become an entirely new person. And that's why meditation is so amazing, because it's not even about becoming a new person. It's about letting go of the person that you are. One more thing. If people have I'm not a fan of positive thinking, because the real dilemma, if you're having like anxiety, right? Someone tells you to think positively. It doesn't work, because the same mind that created your problems is now adding in this like positive thinking. So the reason why I love meditation is because you can't, if I wanted to fucking, let's say it's dark in here, right? I can't lighten up the space with more darkness. I need to add some light to it. And that's what meditation to me is. It's just a way to I know I'm not explaining it too great, but I just don't think you can really work on your problems. The better option is to almost become so much of a new person that you like forget. Not that you forget, but you overcome your problems.
Yeah.
Because you can't overcome anxiety by having more thoughts. It's just going to make you go crazier. So it's actually the shutting off that has made me feel better, and I know makes a lot of other people feel better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meditation's been cool. I enjoy doing it. Like once I finally sit down and get to honestly just lock in and like not have to think about any distractions and just put the headphones on 15 minutes. Yeah. I obviously we do the Deepak Chopra guided meditation, so that one's really good, bro. It's it's weird. It's weird where my mind goes when I just completely just let go and just let it, and I'm just like, I'm saying the mantras and in my own mind, and then I'm just focusing on my breathing. It's interesting where you go. Like I've had times where I've like went all the way back to my childhood or I've went 5-10 years in the future, and I'm envisioning all these things, and it's very vivid. Like a lot of the images you see when you're in a meditation are very vivid, and they seem like real. So it's like you're almost, I know there's a lot of people that are heavily invested into like the idea of manifesting, like envisioning it in your mind first, and then going and getting it in real life. And I can see how that's a thing. Like if you think about something every day and you envision it and paint that picture in your mind, you're creating a reality that your brain is familiar with.
Yeah.
So then when you step into reality outside of the meditation, right, and you walk out into the real world, if that's what's engraved in your brain all day, you're going to start trying to find things in the world and in your life that get you closer to what that thing in your mind is.
Yeah. And
I think that's been cool because, like I said, I've painted a lot of pictures in my mind, and like I really feel like we're about to do those things like soon, and it's gonna be cool. And it may not be obviously exactly the way I'm looking at it, because like in my mind, like I think to the extremes. Like the last one I had, bro, like real shit. I was like, I want to do all the things in my life that I enjoy, because I was just looking around. Like I always talk about how I'm like very observant, and I was just looking around at people, when I'm at the gym, and I'm just like, I'm listening to conversations. I'm watching people's energy, and I'm just like, bro, like a lot of people just don't seem like happy. And I mean, I'm good, but like, am I like all that happy? No, And then I'm like, what are the things that make you happy, right? And we talk about the arc, right? Like yes, the money, the watches, the cars, the nice houses, all that's cool, but I think the most important thing is experience, right? So like a lot of the times in my meditations, it's not me having a materialistic thing. It's the experiences. Like I love animals. Like I want to do like a fucking safari in Africa, right? Or like I pictured myself like fucking like walking through the jungle, right? Like fucking tigers are around and animals and stuff like that. Just experiencing like what is out there in this world. I had us fucking doing all these things, and like there was a voice in the meditation that was like, just like stop being afraid, right? Like face your fears, like stop being scared of all these things, right? Like I'm scared of heights and planes and stuff like that and travel. It's like, yo, you want to experience these things, you gotta just do it, right? You gotta stop being scared. Yeah. So that's what like my last couple of days have been of meditation, where it's just like face your fears, and stop being scared. Just go out there and make it happen.
Yeah, the best things that I've ever experienced in my life have come on the other side of being intensely nervous about them beforehand. Anything that I've ever done in my entire life that was like fucking worthwhile, like holy shit, I can't even believe I'm doing this, like celebrating, has come from me being intensely nervous about it. For instance, I this week found a new passion. Journey podcast listeners, I found something like important to me. That's how I feel about this thing. I feel like it's something that I should have been doing from the beginning of time. It's like when you've never had a certain food before and you have that food and you're like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Like that when we went to Jamaican Paradise, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, this soul food is delicious. No, but yeah, no, bro. Long story short, we've obviously been making a lot of business plays. And, you know, I had the idea of, you know, going on LinkedIn. And I knew we needed a headshot, but I didn't want to be the fucking guy to do the standard headshot because I'm just not that fucking guy, you know? So I thought it would be cool. Listen, I'm not ignorant. I'm not stupid, bro. I know what I am. I'm like this tall, dark, handsome thing, right? Like so I wanted to do this sexy modeling headshot. You know, I didn't want to do this regular business headshot. I wanted to do something cool, like very Calvin Klein, GQ, Vogue-esque, black and white. So I hit up, you know, a photographer that I know that shoots for Ford and IMG and all the top modeling agencies, and he works with like these absolutely beautiful, breathtaking women that are all doing these huge jobs for companies like Balenciaga and Gucci and blah 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 blah. So and then I was like, hey, like, while I get this headshot, you can get a headshot. And then I was like, yo, we can also get a cover art for the journey and we can get a new profile picture for the journey. And I've just never had a professional picture of me taken. So I was like so excited about it. And I kind of had to like, I felt bad because I know I was like kind of like swindling you into it. But I just felt like it was going to be so cool. And then, we ended up going to the shoot, and bro, before the photo shoot, we get in this guy's studio, and the photographer is awesome, but we're like building rapport in the beginning, like getting to know him almost to like a fault. Like I'm like almost asking him too much questions about himself because on the inside, I'm like, bro, could you sense that I was nervous?
Not really.
Bro, I was nervous as fuck. Because really? I just didn't like, I don't know anything about modeling. I don't know anything about posing. Like I
feel like naturally you do. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you do have like a natural thing. Like whenever the cameras are on, you always like have like certain go-to shit you do. Like me on the other end, like I don't do that type of stuff at all, really. It's just never, I always just hate like, I mean, this is the only time I really like get behind a camera, but I don't know. There was always like part of me, not saying that modeling is egotistical, but like I just always hated being like the center of attention, right? Or like all eyes on me, or look at me, look at what I'm doing. I never liked that. Yeah. And even like part of, like sometimes you have to act that way. And like even when I do act that way, just because like I know like it's just the way the world is, right? Social media, you're trying to brand yourself, you're trying to show yourself, you want to get girls, like you have to act that way sometimes, but like it never feels genuine to me, right? Like even like the modeling, it was cool, it felt more genuine when you and I took the pictures together, right? And it was like for the journey, but like when it was just me and like he's like, you know, different poses, it was just like weird to me because like one, I've never done it, it was cool and like the pictures are great, right? But I just like, I don't know, to me it was just like that's like what comes off. It's just like look at me, and I always just hated being that guy.
So we had two completely different experiences, right? Yeah. Because you when it got going, it was cool, but you didn't like lean into it. Well, you leaned into it enough, but it wasn't like this thing that you felt like a calling.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Versus I, on the other hand, as soon as the fucking first picture was taken, and keep in mind, bro, I'm so fucking nervous before this. And fuck all the clips and shit like that. I'm just, you know, like speaking about my actual experience. Like, I was so fucking nervous, bro. And as soon as, we put the music on, that helped. And then as soon as the first picture was taken, I like found something. I felt like I touched greatness, you know? And I don't know how it looks. The pictures could be bullshit. I don't think they were, you know, but from just a feel standpoint, it was literally the first time, not even on a podcast, bro, the first time since playing football that I felt like I was playing football again. And you know how fucking big football was to me. Yeah. It was weird. It was like, it felt honestly, I don't even really want to oversell it, but it felt like divine. You know, it felt like, wow, like I felt like I'm supposed to be doing this, you know, and then I started leaning into it. And it was very much like a football game where, like, before the whistle, you know, I'm very nervous. And as soon as I get hit on the first play, I'm not nervous for the rest of the game. Now I'm just having fun. And that's kind of what the shoot was like. And I think I was going into this story. I think we were speaking. What made me go into the story? We were speaking about meditation, and then what? There was like some bridge.
Facing your fears.
Facing your fears. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, long story short, I was so nervous to get, you know, in front of that camera and do the modeling, and I could have let that fear handicap me and not do it, right? And there's been millions of things in my life that have been that way. You know, there's been so much things in my life that I was so fucking deathly afraid to do. And as soon as I did it, I was like, I'm supposed to be fucking doing this. You know, and then not only is it not scary anymore, it's like the funnest shit you could do. You know, so that's what's weird about fear. And that's why I feel terrible for people that never overcome their fears, because on the other side of fear, they say is like love. That's like what is on the other side of fear. And not to dive too philosophical, but long story short, I wanted to open up the podcast with this because it's just so fucking insane to me. After the shoot, I was like on a high for the entire day, and that night I like made a decision. I was like, dude, I want to model. You know, like, bro, I want to model. Like, bro, I'm thinking a lot. I'm thinking, like, even today, bro, I'm thinking, bro, I was at the gym, like, low key. I was like posing. You know, like I was in the mirror posing, you know. And I know to some people that can sound fucking stupid, but like I'll try to explain it how it felt to me. It felt like the photographer has a vision and the model has a vision, and both of you need to work together, like in real space and real time, to like make that vision a reality. And you could not get it. You could take 1,000 pictures and you won't get that, like that thing, you know? And it just, to me, bro, it felt airtight. It felt like I was performing. It felt like a competition, you know? It felt like I was performing. It was airtight, you know? It felt like almost like catching a touchdown pass in a big game, like getting the shot, you know? I know that sounds weird, but the truth is, bro, is that I'm obviously inclined. I have a calling for it. And where does that come from? You know, it's I think that we've spoken about this a lot, and about finding your passion and finding your callings and finding purposes and stuff like that. And I've always had like a real tough time like giving advice about that, because I understand that it's like it is a hard thing to find your purpose. And like my advice has always been, well, find something that you like to do and do that. You know, find if money didn't matter to you, what would you do every day? Yeah. You know, that's what you should do. And I'm just gonna call it what it is, bro. I'm a very good looking guy, without really trying, you know. And I think that it's obvious that I should have been modeling for a fucking long time, you know. So I think, you know, for obviously the viewers and maybe you or me or fucking anyone else, like, it's like, what is so smack dab in your face that you should be doing that you're not doing? I think it's that simple, you know. And for anyone that says, "Oh, I don't know," like, you're lying. You're lying. You have to know. You know, like, you have to be. If you're a fucking CBA student, like, you're smart enough to, like, what are you good at? What do you like to do? There has to be something. I hate when people say, I don't know. It's like, what do you mean you don't fucking know? What does that mean? Of course you know. What do you like to do? But the problem is, everybody knows what they like to do, but they're afraid to say it because it doesn't seem like it's worthwhile enough. Because what most people like doing is, I like looking good. Right? Like, a lot of girls will say that. I like looking good. Okay. You could be a model. Right? I like traveling. Okay? You could be an influencer, you know? So I feel like for me, I love speaking, podcast. I like looking good, model. Who knows what else comes like later in life, but it was just a really beautiful moment for me to say, oh my God, like my life probably would have been a lot easier if I started this modeling thing years ago.
Yeah.
So I feel like for the people listening, I feel like they can, really get something from that of like, hey, what are you supposed to be doing that's so smack dab in your face that you're just like avoiding because you don't think it's possible? Because what we've learned is that it's fucking possible. Anything is possible. Not in this like cliche way. It's like, if you want to do something, odds are there's probably been someone that has come from a worse circumstance than you that's done it. Yeah. So why not you?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I honestly think one of the main things why people decide to like look away from what they like and they decide not to pursue what actually makes them happy and do the things that they like is it's the people around them. It's their circle. Because I wouldn't say it's like been like heavy on my heart lately, but it's definitely something that I've been a lot more aware to, and it's really just the idea that everyone wants to see you do well, but they never want to see you do better than them, and it's pretty evident in life now. Everyone is jealous, like with the next person, like. They'll give you flowers here and there, right? They'll show you love, but they never really want to see you accomplish the thing that you set out to do. Yeah. And I think that's what separates, certain people that make it. It's the people that have that good supporting cast around them, whether it's from their parents or like their close friends or even like their girlfriend or boyfriend. And all you need is that one person to like really believe in you. If you have one person in your ear, like really like just saying like, you got this, you know what I'm saying? Like you can do whatever you put your mind to. Like, I believe in you. I think that's all you need. I think that's like all like that little thing that might put you over the edge to really go and chase that thing that you love. Mm-hmm. Because there's so many people that they of course, when they see you, they fucking show love to your face and yeah, I'm proud of you. Yo, I see what you're doing, stuff like that. And then as soon as they get behind your back, yeah, but he, and then they try to downplay it. Mm-hmm. There's always a downplay, right? And a lot of the times it gets back to people. And then I don't think a lot of people are mentally tough enough or have the mental fortitude to really like shut that down, like and not have it affect their pursuit. Mm-hmm. And that's just something, because not that I've never allowed it to affect me. Like if I allowed outside opinions to affect me, same with you with sports, like we wouldn't have accomplished anything. Yeah. So, but I can just see why, because I really think it starts with your supporting cast and who you have around you. Yeah. Obviously, it starts with you. It's always going to start with you and end with you. And anything you do in life starts with you and ends with you, and it's your decisions that you make, the situations you put yourself in, the people you meet, the way you communicate, the way you network, like all of that obviously plays a role in where you end up. But I think the next thing after that, bro, it's who you surround yourself with. And if you got a bunch of naysayers or a bunch of people in your ear just always trying to, yeah, that's cool, but, right? There's always a but, or yeah, I don't know. Think about that. Think about you hear that for 5 years. All you hear in your ear is, you don't know if you could do it. You don't know if you could do it.
Yeah.
How do you think that, how big of a role do you think that plays on people's minds where their parents don't believe them, their friends don't believe in them, their partner may not believe in them. And I mean, after a while, I guess a lot of people start to believe that themselves. Yeah. Maybe they're right.
Yeah, I again, bro, I just really, I have a tough time relating to it, because it's just so opposite of how I live my life. I've suffered because of it. I've struggled because of it, because of my belief in myself and my.
But before you go on, because I want you to continue, but that's the thing. Like you say, like you struggle with it, but I feel like a lot of what you do and what I do, it's like we're trying to prove people wrong all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we do is like, oh, fuck them. Oh, he didn't want to answer. Oh, he didn't want to believe in us.
No,
here.
yes. That it ends there, but it starts with it's what I want out of my life. That's what that I wouldn't do it just because I want to prove.
No, I'm not
wrong.
saying that's the only reason you're doing it, but I'm saying like I feel like there is a driven factor just from the way we communicate a lot. And I'm saying like I'm a victim of it as well.
Yeah.
Like we're always just trying to prove people wrong. And I think that's a good thing. I think you should try to prove people wrong, right? Prove the haters wrong. Listen, like we were listening to fucking Lil Baby and Drake and the rapper, you know what I'm saying, in the car the other day. All of them, what was all their lyrics about? Haters, right?
Yeah.
People not believing in them, stuff like that. And we would just catch it, right? We're like getting like little like bits from the song, and we're like, you hear that, you know, like. So I think that's what I think that's good that you're driven by the hate and driven by like the people that don't believe in you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's gasoline, but it's not like it's not why I set out on the path that I'm on. It's just gasoline.
But can you see why there's certain people that's the shit that puts out their fire?
Yeah, of course. And
what do you think that stems from?
Great question. Yeah, that's a great question. I would say and this is just what I can come up with right now.
Yeah.
But I would say it's from never feeling great in your life. That's where that comes from. It's like, bro, I've just had so much moments that I've gone against the majority. I've gone against the grain, and it worked. You know, like I think I've told the story in the podcast before, but there was this time in class when I was like 10 years old, and teacher asked this question. And she said, hey, if you think the answer is B, go to this side of the classroom. And if you think the answer is A, go to this side of the classroom. And majority of the class didn't know what the answer was, so they were just waiting for someone to make a move. So towards the end, as soon as she asked the question, everyone scattered. Everyone went to this side of the classroom that thought it was B, 29 students, and I went to A. And the answer was A. So long story short, like I've just had so much of those moments in life where I've gone against the majority and I've won. I've cashed out going against what everyone else thought. So I would say it's just very poor conditioning by society, placing people in these containers, making people believe that they're going to be good if they're like everyone else. But when you look at the greatest people of all time, they're nothing like everyone else. They're unique. That's what makes people great, right? If everybody was like everybody, no one would stand out. No one would do anything special. The reason why people are great is because they go against the grain. And that's why I think people, yeah, that's why it even goes above people's opinions. That's why I think people just aren't great, is because they don't learn from a young age that being great, the source of being great lies in being unique and being different. Now, I'll say about negative opinions. Well, why do you think that negative opinions are the thing that stops people from chasing their dreams? Like, what do you think about negative opinions?
Yeah, I think they play a huge factor in it.
Yeah.
I think it depends if you've built this self-confidence from a young age where you can do these good things and you have got praise from people and you do have that self-belief, then a lot of the times, like, people were always talking about you, right? Even when you were a little kid, you know, that was the best 8-year-old football player and you played the most. Who would be talking? The parents in the stands. Why is he playing over him? You know, why is he batting third? You know, why is he the quarterback? So it starts there, bro. Think about it. It starts from the parents when you're 8 years old that talk about you and you don't even know it unless your parents tell you because they're hearing it in the crowd. Sometimes the parents don't even know whose kid it is, but they just talk about their kids.
Right.
It starts at that, at least in athletics.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there's a bunch of other things that I wasn't a part of, like music, right? Like band or, orchestra or chorus, right? Like that, or art. Whose art is getting shown the most? Yeah. So it starts at a young age where we're put in a competition. We're put in a competition from the start. Life is a competition. Life is fucking battle from the moment you start elementary school. Mm. Who has the best grades? Who's the best student? Who's the best in sports? Who's the best artist? Right? There's always these like marks that we're trying to reach. And if you're never good at anything, right? And then you finally find something that makes you happy and that you love, and then you tell it to people, and then they say, "No, you can't do that. You've never accomplished anything worthwhile. So how are you ever going to believe in yourself when you finally find something that you love, and then the people around you, maybe it's the closest people to you, put you down and say that's not worth it. Stop wasting your time. Do this." When at the end of the day, if you want to go and chase something that you love, don't ask advice from people that haven't done what they don't love, right? If they love, like, whatever they're pursuing, and that's all they know. I think a lot of times, as like, I was a victim of that, where when I was like don't get me wrong, I understand life experience, right? Like, I understand, like, our fathers have much more life experience than us, and
wisdom,
and yeah, just life wisdom and all that. But there was a part of me, like, I'm not talking about my dad, but I'm talking about when I was a kid, right? Like, I thought just because he was the person was an adult, they knew high school basketball. Yeah. For instance, at the public school I went to, when I was in 8th grade, like, you just think like, oh, okay, he's in a position of power as the varsity high school basketball coach. He has to know what he's talking about. And then when you turn 18, 19, 20, I don't know everything, but I know you don't know shit about basketball. Yeah. And you're just collecting a stipend for $3,000 a semester. Yeah. As kids, like, we're trained to think that just because they're older than you, they know more than you, or they're more knowledgeable on a subject than you, and that's not the case.
It's poor leadership and bad example, and that's why, like, I am kind of happy with the internet, bro. Because if you're a kid that you want to do something great, odds are in your community there's not that many people doing great stuff. And I know people are going to take offense to that, but, like, bro, like, let's call it what it is. Like, do people really at the end of the day want to be like the 10th grade geometry professor, or do they want to be like LeBron James? But what are the odds that LeBron James lives in your community? Not that high. What are the odds that, like, there's probably mad, 10th grade geometry teachers that live in your community? And I'm not trying to put that teacher down, but I will go ahead to say that I am trying to put the teacher down that doesn't really want to be a teacher, that's just doing it because they needed a job. Because they're now adding to the mediocre problem of society that I faced as a kid, where I felt like I didn't have any leaders. And that's why I took to sports, because I felt like I could be my own, like, my experience and my brotherhood with my teammates could be my leadership. That could be the thing that teaches me good lessons, rather than listening to, like you said, your high school coach that played that didn't even play college sports, didn't even play the game, but he's just doing it because his son plays on the team. So it's a very weird, mediocre thing in society. I've even felt it. Like, I went to St. Anthony's High School, prestigious high school, where things are supposed to be, the sports is supposed to be amazing, and the school is supposed to be amazing, and everything about it. And it's just weird, because even if our sports teams, who we were supposed to be number one in the state, went up against, like, a modern day in California, we would have lost by 100 points. So it's just a weird thing in society where I think that I think society I think for whatever reason is very mediocre. I do. And I want to ask you why, but I want to pee, and then we'll get to that.
Okay. We're back.
All right, so
yeah.
I'm going to go off and say I've been getting pretty far in a belief that majority of people are just pretty mediocre. And I don't say that to be condescending or like speak above people like I'm better than anyone. But I will say that I like to believe that I'm someone that's not mediocre. I like to be exceptional. I'm far away. I'm on the opposite side of mediocre. Mediocre to me is, it might as well be the same thing as being at the bottom. You know, mediocre isn't like this even thing in the middle for me. You know, like I believe that it's you know, I believe it's bad, but and that's why, like, sometimes I do speak about like the everyday person, and it might come off in a condescending way, but it's like I'm almost like you kind of chose that. So it's hard for me to I don't know how I feel about I don't know if I understand it. My question to you is, why do you think, one, do you think that the majority of people are mediocre, and two, if you do, why do you feel that way?
So one thing that I was a big advocate of, especially in basketball, like playing college basketball, is like I would always say like there's levels, right? Like there's levels to college basketball, and a lot of people don't understand the levels because they've never been exposed to them. So I think that's what happens in life. A lot of people have never been exposed to the level that life could be at the top because they don't know what it's like, right? They've never been exposed to what life could be like. So they can only live what they know. And I feel like we're even victims of that at times. Like, especially I was, because I mean, yeah, I lived in different states, but like I lived in like low, like bad areas, you know, like literally like the projects were right across the street when I lived in Birmingham. I lived in St. Thomas on an island where it's like a third world country, right? I lived in Shreveport, Louisiana, which is known for, the casinos. Mm-hmm. And then I lived in West Texas, like in the desert, cactus and shit. So it's like, yeah, when I traveled, but I wasn't exposed to stuff. And then I went to Miami and I was like, oh, okay. Like you see it on social media, but when you actually live it, that's when your eyes can open up.
Because you realize it's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's like there's, you meet the people that have it, and or they're doing these worthwhile things that like you could, like, in a sense, like look up to, or maybe like don't understand or want to be like, and you realize that like, oh, I'm not that different from that person.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the main thing, is like the exposure to greatness, the exposure to what life could be like, because most people only know what they see. Most of the stuff on the internet, on your phone, it just seems like a foreign country.
Yeah, but that's the weird thing though, is that there is exposure now on your phone.
But
right?
the thing about the phone is like so much of it is a facade. It's all fake. You don't know what to believe anymore. So majority of people would just say, I don't believe that.
Well, Kendall Jenner, like if you look at her, you could tell she's got it.
Yeah, but she's fake. Her face is fake. Her body's fake. Her boobs are fake. Her butt is fake. Everything about her is fake. So it's like if you can't go and build your own body and get blessed from a family of the Kardashians, then you don't think you have a chance. You know what I'm saying? She's not real. Kendall Jenner is not Kendall Jenner without that. Without Kim Kardashian, Khloe, and Kourtney, and the Kardashian family, and her dad is Bruce Jenner. Yeah. And that body and the shit she did to her face. Look at the pictures before. Come on. Yeah. I'm not trying to say it. I'm not calling anyone. Oh, she wasn't a very pretty girl. Okay. Before that, she wasn't. Mm-hmm. She was an average girl at our local high school. I can name 10 girls that I went to high school with way prettier than her naturally. Yeah. So it's like, you see that shit and you know it's fake. So then that makes you even go lower, because you're like, damn, I have to fucking get my face done, my body done. I have to have a fucking famous family just to do it. Right. So then that's why people don't even try, because they don't think it's possible. Yeah. But when you have the exposure to it, when you actually sit next to her, right? And you sit next to...
You're from the same town, maybe.
Yeah, or you shake Steve will do its hand. Yeah. And you're bigger than him. And he's like socially awkward. I love you, Steve, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I could do it too. Yeah. So I think it's the exposure. Once you're around the dudes, once you're around the females, once you see it, once you can feel it physically, right? That's when you're like, oh, okay, they're regular people too. But people see them on this phone, bro. People look at people on this phone and look at them as gods. They think they're gods.
Yeah.
I've played against NBA guys before. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, they're fucking good. But it's like, all right, like at the end, you still got to shoot, right? You still got to make the right decision. You still got to guard. You still got to stay in front of me, like whoever it may be. People get, I think the phone makes a lot of people delusional, right? So people get scared. It's kind of what we started the podcast with, right? Facing your fears. On the other side of fear is love, but if you can't get over that side of fear, then you're just going to stay in fear, and then you're going to settle because you're scared of what's to come.
Yeah, people are afraid of the unknown, and that's something you have to face if you decide to live a glorious fucking lifestyle. If you decide to live a fucking amazing lifestyle, you have to be best friends with the unknown. I'm afraid of the unknown. You know what I'm saying? You're afraid of the unknown.
Yeah, I want to actually, not to cut you off, sorry. I want to tell personal story, right? Because I said it the other day. I've said it a bunch, right? Like I had a bad breakup a couple months ago, right? Yeah. And I kept
Did you have this guy again going off about the guy?
But it's about the unknown, right?
Okay.
And I was speaking to my boy KJ the other day again,
right?
And he just started this new app, right? Like, he's like kind of going all in on it.
Shout out KJ.
Yeah. But he said the one thing that does frighten him sometimes is the uncertainty, right? The uncertainty of and the unknown of what's going to happen. And to tie that in with the breakup, right? During this time, I kept asking her, right? How do you like do you know? I just want to know. I hate the uncertainty of not knowing if we're going to get back together, if this is going to work out, if this is, it's like the entire thing was about my uncertainty of knowing what's to happen. And I give her props for that. The one thing she said to me, she was like, the uncertainty is the fun part. If you always know what's going to happen, it takes the fun out of it. So the uncertainty and the unknown is what makes life fun. You don't know what's to come. That's what makes this stuff exciting. That's what makes you want to get up in the morning and chase something. That's what makes you fucking go all in and go hard every single day. Is because you don't know what the outcome is. So all you can do is give your best every single day and just hope for the best. You lay out the blueprint and you do exactly all the steps and try to put your best foot forward every single day. It's the only thing you can do is just control the controllables, because most of life is out of your control. So living in uncertainty is what makes life exciting. If we always knew, if someone, right, imagine you were born and someone gave you a book about your life. Here's your life. You decide whether you read it or not. Do you think you would read it?
Yes.
If you would?
Yeah, but that's what everyone's doing that. No one's living in the unknown. Everyone lives a very predictable experience.
No. I'm saying there's two options, right? When you're born, you have a conscious mind, right? Not a baby mind.
Right.
And someone and God gives you a book and he says, "This is the story of your life. You can't change it no matter what you do. No matter what you do, this is how you're going to end up. This is how you're going to die. This is who you're going to end up with. Those are how your kids are going to grow up." Would you read the book or would you not?
In that moment, you would absolutely not want to read that book. But I'm just saying that majority of people are living that way. People are so afraid of the unknown that they try to make their lives as predictable as possible. So it's like people have kind of written that book for themselves. That's what benefits is and a 401k is. It's like that you want to make your life as predictable as possible, and you want to keep things. You don't want anything to shake up the worldview that you already have, because if something were to shake up that worldview, it would be an absolute catastrophe. I think that you and I, bro, are living in the unknown, and it's fucking dope. I think that's what great people do, is they live in the unknown. They embrace the unknown. They become best friends with it. But I think majority of people, the truth is that the unknown is scary, though. It is a scary place. So rather than, if I'm a regular person, it's like, why would I spend so much time in the unknown when I could just spend time in the familiar past? Or the familiar past or the familiar future. Because although, the familiar past and the familiar past and the familiar future aren't so great, at least they're better than the unknown.
I think it's the safety net that the familiarity brings. Right? It's the welcoming of being safe and having a safe net and knowing, right? Like you're almost like you're trying to manage damage control, right? Like you're putting a ceiling on yourself, but you're also putting a basement, right? You're kind of living in that middle. So I think that's what that does. When okay, if I take these exact steps, right, and I get this career and I work here for 10 years, I'll have enough to provide for family.
You release spontaneity.
Yeah, but so the whole thing I was trying to get at with that is you need to be conscious of the decisions you make before you put yourself in that situation.
Oh,
that's the entire thing. Because we get it a lot, and I can see both sides of it, and I can understand where what do you want me to do? Just quit my job, follow my dreams? Like, I got 2 kids, I got a house, I got a mortgage. It's like you have to know what you want from a young age, and you have to make the right choices. A lot of the choices people make in their lives, they don't understand the severity of them. Every single choice you make, it plays a huge part in your life.
Yeah.
I talk about it all the time. The butterfly effect, man. That shit is real. That shit is like a real thing. I get it. It was a fictional movie with Ashton Kutcher, but I truly believe that shit is so real. Because think about some of the decisions you've made back at, 16, 17, 18. They've affected your life today, 10 years later.
Yeah.
Some way, somehow, they've affected your life. So people just go about life just living in cruise control, making bullshit decisions all the time, making poor decisions, and just putting themselves in fucking terrible situations. And then 5 years goes by, and then you wonder why you have to live the way you want to live. You're living the way you have to live. It's because, bro, you made 550 poor decisions over the past 8 years. No shit, you're in the predicament you're in now. So I try to, every day, all these guys like Jocko and Andy Frisella and Gary Vee, right? Like people I see a lot of people, because I read the comments sometimes, like, oh, these guys are corny, these guys are cringy, these guys. It's like, bro, they're telling you to fucking take life day at a time, right? And live it and take every day serious. Attack every single day. David Goggins, like all these people, all these motivational speakers, Eric Thomas, they all talk about the same shit. Why do you think they're in the position they're at? It's because they practice what they preach. They go every single day and they attack the day. They make the right decisions. No matter they don't do what feels good. They do what they know is right. You have to differentiate what feels right and what's actually good for you. So many people veer towards, I'm just going to do this because it feels right in this moment. But deep down, a lot of us have a healthy conscience and a pure intuition. We know it's wrong for us. That's why meditation is such a fucking important thing. Because when you meditate, you have more control of your mind. Yeah. And then you can decide, right? Like, I can really control my body. I'm not gonna do what feels good for the short term. I'm gonna do what feels right for the long term.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just to comment on that. Because one thing I'm realizing, right, is all right, so modeling, right? It is what it is. I got to be 30 pounds lighter. Yeah. 20 pounds, I'd say.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know shit about modeling, but I feel like you're being a little harsh on yourself. I feel like you could cut 15 to 20. Yeah, 15 to 20.
All right, whatever it is. I got to be lighter. You
don't want to be no skinny model, though.
No, I don't want to be no skinny model, but I definitely want to I want to look as good as I possibly can look. So
Sure.
maybe let's just take the weight out of it. You
Sure.
know what I'm saying? So you just said you have to be willing to what was it about the immediate you said? You said something about the immediate.
Like a lot of people, they can't differentiate what feels good and what they know is right.
Yeah, okay. So it's pretty funny because I know what's right at the end of the day. Like every time I reach for a bag of chips, I know that it's the wrong decision. Like every time I reach for it, because bro, like I've for a very long time known that being shredded to the bone and looking as good as possible is more important to me than a bag of chips. But like I always reach for the bag of chips. Why is that? Why do you think that is?
Because it's easy. All the things in life that make you feel good most of the time are easy.
Oh, it's so easy.
If you want to do anything worthwhile and fucking that will actually play a positive impact on your life, it's going to take some type of sacrifice,
Delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eat,
we're so bad at that now, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
We really are.
Think
so
about
terrible at that.
What tastes better? Like, sure, chicken and rice is delicious. I eat it every day.
It is good. It is good, chicken and rice.
So maybe that's a bad example, but it's like, all right, vegetables, right? You eat vegetables for 6 months straight, and you're someone that's trying to lose weight. You eat vegetables and no carbs, or you eat sweets and ice cream and cookies and pasta and bread.
So good.
They're all delicious. You eat those every day because you feel good in the short term, or you suffer and you sacrifice the sweets for 6 months, and then you look in the mirror and you're proud of who you are.
But dude, isn't that more important, right?
What?
Being proud of who you are?
Of course it is.
Right.
Absolutely.
But we us as human beings just want that immediate gratification versus the 6 months.
We all have terrible vices.
Fuck.
Think about the vices that we have, that we tell ourselves every day, I'll stop tomorrow. This will be the last day.
Right.
One more time won't hurt. This isn't going to kill me. And then you string together 100 of those, this won't kill me. And the next thing you know, you're in the hospital.
Wow. Yeah. Right.
Think
like
about that.
Even like the vapes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Think about all the people in the hospital that they're sick because of self-inflicted decisions, and how many times do you think they told themselves that this isn't right for me, but this is the last time I'm going to do this? Think about that. We need to fucking
we need to be the best podcast ever so we could tell people about these issues.
And we also got to practice that as well. We do have some bad vices.
No, we do have some bad vices. Yeah, but that's because we haven't meditated, because we haven't meditated enough to become new people to realize that, again, if we want to change our current reality, we have to change our fucking personality, you know? Like, I think that's what it is, right? Like, there's a voice inside my head that's so strong. Like, bro, tonight when you leave, so now that I'm modeling, right? Like, I consider myself modeling. Like, it's a thing now. I know it's been one day, but like, I just love the idea, bro. And I think I could do damage in that space.
Yeah.
So now I'm saying now that I'm a model, you know, I'm putting it out there, you know. I know that when I go in there tonight, I have a piece of salmon in there. That's all I get to eat tonight. A piece of salmon. You know what I'm saying?
Until I ask you to go to Rose's after this.
And bro, that decision to me, like, to eat pizza tonight or salmon is like hell. You know?
Yeah, I feel bad because like I can eat whatever I want. I need it. Let me get the salmon and the pizza.
But I know that if I just built the habit long enough, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It's like, dude, I'm having salmon. And the salmon's, bro, it's going to fuel my body. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to wake up tomorrow not bloated. I'm going to get some good sleep tonight. I'll wake up tomorrow early and I'll meditate and then I'll have an amazing day because I had the salmon. Versus like, bro, the pizza for me is like, I have a fucking back issue, so I'm having gluten, which is highly inflammatory. I can't go there and get one slice. I can't go there and get 2 slices, right? Because I used to be a big boy. So I got to go there. I got to get 3 specialty slices and knots. Then we need some dessert after, God forbid, which we'd probably do. Well, all of a sudden, bro, in 1 hour, I take down 3,000 calories. I get back to my crib at 1 in the morning. I can't sleep because my body's trying to digest food, right? And then now I wake up the next day and I have a terrible fucking day. All because for those 3 minutes while I scarfed down the food, it was just so tasty, you know?
I think that is one of the most influential things in the wrong way in society and in life and in the world and the life that we know it is every single day people make temporary decisions, right? They make temporary decisions based off of these emotions that make them feel good for the short term. It's literally like the one thing that happens every single day.
Someone right now is doing something. Someone right now is like cheating on their wife or something, you know, because it feels good.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
they're gonna
Like
fuck up a whole marriage, lose half of their fucking finances. The kids aren't gonna forgive them because they wanted to come.
yeah, bro.
Fuck.
It's literally temporary actions based off of nothing.
We gotta do better.
Off of the immediate satisfaction and immediate gratitude of what? 10 seconds?
Yeah.
15 seconds? And most of the time you regret it immediately after.
It's also novelty though, you know. It's like it's something. No, it's not, because it's not always something new. In some circumstances, it is something new, and novelty can be this grand thing. Is it's like, oh, this is new. I like this. Fuck, man. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for us, bro, to get that credibility piece. So we can. So when we say, "Hey, don't do this," people will take it a little more serious. But I'm excited. I think maybe the thing that stopped us from getting the credibility is we haven't taken our own advice.
Yeah.
We've done it to a certain extent. Like, I have non-negotiables. I told you that the other day. I was like, bro, we're fucking relentless. We put out more content than anyone. We go to the gym every fucking day. You know, we're at least we are trying to read. Like, there's a lot of things that we do that are very healthy
I think we do just enough
to separate ourselves
of what we know is good and what we know is right. We do just enough to stroke our ego, to make ourselves feel just a little bit better about ourselves, but we know we're destined and we're called for such better, but we just keep doing like the little vices, right? The little temporary emotions, it because if think about it, so many people like what I was talking about earlier, like oh, it's just one day, it's just one time, it's just one meal. It's how many days are you gonna say that it's just one? It's just this. It's just I'm not gonna read this day. I'm not gonna meditate this day. Oh, it's okay. I'll start on Monday. Think about how many times like you've thought about something on a Thursday and you say I'll start on Monday. Why not just start then? Why not just start on a Thursday? Because what, you wait until Monday, but then Monday doesn't happen, right? And then you get to Thursday again, and you're like, all right, I'll start on Thursday, or I'll start on the first of the month. What is that? Why are we just so and I'm sure a lot of people, just humans in general, just so okay with postponing things and putting things off? Because I don't think the greats do that. I get it, they're humans too, but I think that's what makes them the greats. I don't think the Floyd Mayweathers, the Mike Tysons, the Bradys, the Derek Jeters, the Jordans, the LeBrons, I don't think they put shit off and said, I'll wait till Monday to get these shots up. I'll wait till Monday to hit the gym. I'll wait till Monday to get this batting practice. I don't think they did that. And then people envy them as if they're like these superhumans that were born a certain way. It's like they were born with 4 limbs, a heart, a brain, lungs, just like you. They just decided to take advantage of the blessing that they have with life.
Yeah. I figured out our problem. Bro, how many times do we got to say, like, oh, we're going to do this? Like, when we get to Miami, we're gonna fucking do this.
Yeah.
Bro, I said when I get to New York, we're gonna be dialed, bro. We're gonna be reading, meditating, going on hikes. You know, we haven't done any of that shit. So it's like, I mean, we have.
It's been
I'm
cold.
fucking around,
it's also been cold.
but it has been cold. But I will say this though, like I think right now, bro, we have an incredible opportunity. I think for you and me, bro, I think we have to let go of this boredom thing. Let go of it. Like, bro, I've because that's been like one of my biggest excuses. Like when I go to like meditate or when I go to read, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so much easier when I'm in Miami. You know, it's gonna be so much. No, it's not. It's gonna be this exact same thing.
So before you continue, I want to ask you: do you think a main reason from all of this, and we'll be very transparent,
Go for it,
and very honest right now,
yeah,
is women? How big of a role does women play in that? Of the boredom, of like the boredom and the yeah.
Oh. Well, I have a tough time with that, bro, because women is like, I know this about myself, although a lot of people think I'm gay. Women are my favorite thing in the world. It just is. Yeah, a lot of the decisions I make are solely based off of like getting a sexy woman. You know, like so. And that's even why I've like fucked with the spirituality at times. You know, because it made me feel like at least I understand women better. I'm able to communicate better with women. If I let go of my trauma and my negative habits, I'll be able to get women better. So, ladies, I meditate. No, but I'm saying like.
But think of how much of the decision making as a man comes from like based off of women.
Yeah. Oh, you know what, bro? Maybe it is. Maybe there is a missing piece, right? Maybe Emmett wasn't so wrong about that. We have a boy that whatever. Anyway, like maybe like we are kind of waiting for that woman to fulfill that other side of us, and then once that side is fulfilled, we'll be able to actually focus on the things that matter.
Yeah, because I don't think either of us have got that yet. And I know we're not in the chapter of our life. I mean,
yeah, we're not. We're probably not even close. I mean, unfortunately,
we're
probably not even close. I mean, I personally. I mean, do you feel ready to be with a woman?
No.
You have to be on. You have to be honest and really think about where you're at. I just think geographically, like, bro, we're gonna be bouncing all over the fucking place.
Yeah, no, I don't. But that's why I'm not regretful of where we're at all. But I'm just also like, yo, we're 26 years old. It's like, when is the right time to settle down, right? And to know it's hard, right? Mm-hmm. And especially like there's two of us because we're almost like one now, right? Like everything you do, I pretty much do. Everything I do, you pretty much do outside of like our own little personal lives. But it's like, this is what it is. We're kind of like tied together in this now. And I love that. But it's also like, so what? Do we both have to like find a woman at the same time? Do we both want to have kids at the same time? It's a tough thing to like think about, which I think about from time to time. I'm really not worried about it right now because I know I feel like I realistically think we need 4 years to get all of it out, to get all of this traveling experience.
Yeah, just see what's out there. I'm curious. Yeah. I'm curious right now.
And that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
4 years. We have a lot of time.
They're only 30.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I think until 30, if we can really build this thing for the next 4.5 years, because say we're 4 or 5 months in right now.
Yeah.
And we really give it a 5-year plan, I think we can automate something where like the rest is obviously we'll probably always podcast, but the rest of the business side of and the monetizing will be pretty much like automated. I think that's like a real timeline, right? Like a real like schedule where it makes sense. Because I don't think either of us are ready right now. But it's fucked because, like I said, most of our decisions is based off of that. And I think that's just genetically, like, right, like as a man, like
just a horny guy. You know? Yeah, I'm just a horny guy.
Yeah, most of what you do, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I wasn't always that way. But once I like ended up getting with and you know what, bro? Like, I'm kind of almost sick of treating this podcast like it's you, me, and an audience. Because, like, bro, that's not how this podcast started. Like, this podcast started by, like, me being nothing but transparent. Yeah. So that's the way I'm going to continue to be.
Yeah.
I've been getting so much from people. Like, you curse too much. Well, fuck you. How about that, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying, bro? I'm the way I fucking am. When I'm with you alone, do I curse?
Every other word.
Every other word. So I'm going to get on camera and, oh, gentlemen, what type of day are we having today? No, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I fucking speak, bro. So it's like, I don't want to, and that's why I keep saying over and over and over again, I'm not doing this for anyone else other than myself. And I know that can come off as like this terrible thing, but that's how it fucking started.
But by you being yourself is how you help other people.
Exactly. It's impacting people. And I know that because I felt bad today because I'm like, if I keep saying, like, are people going to get turned off by that? And I'm like, no, because people can understand that, like, the number one thing that you can do for humanity to make the world a better place is be fucking authentic. Yeah. That's what the fuck it is, right? So it's like, I'm tired of feeling like I need to fucking please A person, B person, and fucking C person and their parents. Because all I need to do is be the fucking best me I can fucking be. And if people have a problem with that, that's their decision, and they can look in their own mirror. But I'm gonna be fucking smiling on with you on the PJ. I don't give a fuck, you know. So anyway, I say all that to say, I'm horny. You know, I'm horny. You know, ladies. We're going to Philly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, bro. I mean, being your most authentic self is it's the only way to live. Like,
Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, how's he not canceled?
And
I think it's just because, bro, he's just him. How
can
you get that mad? He's just being himself. He's not hurting anybody.
He's just he's so himself, just on a platform. He would act like he probably acts like that. Cameras on, cameras off. Doesn't matter. Behind closed doors, he's the same guy, and that's what makes him so good at what he does. And you look at the best of the best. They were always authentic with themselves. Yeah. They didn't care. They showed their personality. They showed their true colors with the cameras on, with the cameras off. And 50% of people loved them. 50% of people hated them. And you think they... Bring us home.
Cut. I posted it on my story today. If you can genuinely be yourself every single fucking day, you're winning. That's how you become successful, man. You just be yourself, you know? So, I'll say that. This was a special podcast because it was our first podcast back, and Zach and I are doing special things. It was also a special podcast because I've made the decision that I want to be a model. I am a model now, and I got my first gig. I didn't even go on to tell about that, but maybe the next podcast I'll have some updates about my first gig, which is going to be fucking huge, which... I already got hit up, essentially. The universe is crazy. Oh, anyway. Thank you guys for watching. Seriously. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to try my best in the future to, like, not remember that you guys are here and just speak to my boy. But thank you guys for watching because none of anything that we do is possible without you guys. And I really hope you guys are getting a lot out of this podcast. And I think you guys are, just because at the end of the day, Zach and I don't know if we're technically sound at the most things, but we're really good at being ourselves. And we don't even, and we can even be even better at that. So I look forward to diving deeper into that, being ourselves, and helping you guys in the process. Much love. Thank you guys.